What's going on, guys? I am Keewoon, and the topic of this video that I will talk about is how to use resistance band. How are we going to manipulate the tension of resistance band in our exercises? Alright, so I will divide the methods into three different methods: the linear, the stack, and the staggered. Alright, by linear, I meant the distance that our hand are holding on to the resistance band. So let's take this as an example. I can manipulate the tension by changing the distance of my hand holding on the band. Like, let's say, as you can see here, the band comes from my foot and I can grab it a lot lower, a lot closer to my foot, and the tension is already there when I stand up right now. So as I move on to the exercise, the tension will be greater. To make it looser, I can grab further away from the other end of the band, and this is a lot easier. Alright, so this is one way we can manipulate the tension of the resistance band. The next way, I will be talking about staggered. And what I mean by staggered is to grip on different positions. Instead of having it balanced at the other end of the band, I'm holding it slightly off the band. As you can see here, when I put the band all the way down without any tension, you can see that the place that I'm gripping on the band is different. One side is longer and the other side is shorter. So this is easier to use compared to stack, and I will be talking about stack later, and we will focus on staggered right now. The tension that we get over here is slightly greater than linear because throughout the movement we have one band tension over here, and as I bring the band up and tight throughout the exercise, we see an extra tension from the other side of the band, the one that was loose at the end of the movement. So right now, I'm using a single tension from one band, and as I go, I get double tension. And the tension from this side of the band is tighter than this side. So overall, I get a lighter tension right now, and as I move, I get a stronger tension. So that is the other way of manipulating tension of resistance band. So the last one that I will talk about is the stack. Stack means stacking the bands together. So this is an example of stack. I'm using bicep curl as an example. So I'm holding the band balanced, it's not staggered. You can tell by the position over here. When I keep the band loose, you can tell that the band is balanced, the lengths are equal. So right now, this is called stack. Both sides stack together. We are stacking the tension of both bands together, and the tension will be the strongest over here. So these three methods, they can be used together. So this is an example of linear stacked. So linear is by manipulating the distance that we grip on the band, and stack is by having two bands together. We are stacking the tension of the bands together. So this is stack. And to make it linear, I can grip a lot closer from the other end of the band, which means I will have this loose end over here. So this is stack linear. This tension will be greater than stack. That is if we grow out of the tension of the band, and you can tell this is a lot harder. I can barely even curl the band. And what I normally use for my bicep curl with this resistance band is stack. See? So this is how we can manipulate the tension using stack and linear stack. Next up, I will talk about staggered linear. Alright? So the time that we will start using staggered is when our strength grew out of linear, and we wouldn't want to be gripping all the way to the end, right? That is pretty damaging to the band, although they are very elastic. So to increase the tension, we can double up the band, staggered, meaning we will have one end tighter and the other end stay loose. So at the middle of the exercise, we will enjoy the tension of two bands. But the tension of the band that is provided to our arms is different. This is slightly looser. I can feel it right now, and this is tighter. You can tell by how they vibrate, they resonate, right? So linear staggered, it means I can adjust the distance that I'm grabbing on the tighter side of the band. From now, I can already feel a greater tension at rest. As I curl up, you can tell that this side is getting tighter. So this side is somewhat providing the tension to my movement. And this side is definitely very tight. So linear staggered means we can adjust the distance of our grip along the tighter side of the band. And I will put the tension in order. So the lighter tension will definitely be the linear single. It's when we do, let's say, shoulder press, like that. Both of my arms are using just tension from one band. So this is single linear. And I can adjust it by grabbing it lower, right? You can tell by looking at the length of the loose ends. This is definitely tighter than before. And this is linear single. And for linear staggered, I will put it on a roll so you guys can see it easier. So this is stacked. And this is staggered. Right? And linear staggered, I can bring my grip a lot closer to the other end of the band. So you can see this loose end over here. Right, the tension is definitely tighter than before. And if it's too tight, I can adjust my distance again. So this is called linear staggered. And this is an example of stack. This is the usual stack. Linear stack, I will adjust the distance of my grip. Alright, you can see it over here. I have some loose ends over here. So this is definitely tighter than before. And here we have the combination of all three methods of how we can manipulate the tension of resistance band to aid our workout. And the order of the tension from lightest to heaviest will be linear, staggered, linear staggered, double, linear double. Alright, these names are not universal. I made them up to help you guys to understand it better. And hope you guys learned something from this video and use them in your resistance band workout. My name is Keewoon. See you in the next one.